Salutations, Stove Minders. It is Saturday, January 23rd, 2021. A special weekend episode of Stove Minders because, wow, the weather is cold, the stove is hot. Also, Hank Aaron is dead. Rest in peace to the natty home run king. Rest in peace to Tommy Lasorda and Don Sutton. Lots of baseball legends have died this past year, but that's what makes them legends. The passage of time, the circle of life. And nothing embodies the whirlwind that life often is, more so than the career of Jurickson Profar. This guy was a top prospect coming out of Curacao, one of those Dutch islands in the Caribbean. He was in the Texas Rangers system, ended up making his major league debut as a teenager for the Rangers, and he didn't really get going. He had multiple injuries, he didn't perform, he looked like an absolute bust. Until 2018, when he turned out a decent campaign, and then he took a step back in 2019 with the Athletics, but in his first year with the Padres in 2020, Profar batted .278 with a .771 OPS. He was the primary left fielder in San Diego while also finding time at second base. I say all this because while Profar hit the free agent market, he didn't exactly have a path to regular playing time if he was to stay with his old team. But I'm sure the Padres had no trouble convincing Profar to stay with what looks like one of the best teams in baseball, fully loaded, front to back, top to bottom. The San Diego hype train is only escalating. And Profar said, "Get me back on there." And so general manager A.J. Preller gave him a 3-year contract, $21 million, so $7 million a year, and a couple of opt-outs. I will get to that soon. So as I mentioned, yes, Profar has managed to carve out a career for himself at this point. He has proven that he can hit in the majors, but positioning is gonna be an issue. See, okay, so they got Jake Cronenworth, who had a breakout year in 2020, and his primary position is second base. Not to mention Korean signee Ha-Seong Kim, who lines up in the middle infield. And out in left field, they got Tommy Pham. And while Profar out-hit him in the regular season, Pham did better in the postseason, and he's, I guess, the more senior player, the more proven player, albeit with fitness issues, a question mark, no doubt. It makes it easier that Profar is a switch hitter, but he's also a below-average fielder in virtually all respects. So 2021 might be a headache for Padres manager Jace Tingler, suffering from abundance. As for Jurickson, he's turning 28, and his agent, Scott Boras, got him the Boras special. He's got opt-outs at the end of each year, super player-friendly, and if Profar feels like he's producing but not getting the playing time he wants, and if he's unsatisfied with a half-decent $7 million a year salary, he could leave the San Diego hype train, or hype ship, I guess, to be more accurate, of the city. Although Profar has safely unbusted himself, and congratulations, it wasn't enough to convince other teams to take him on. Only the Royals and the Red Sox were known to be interested, and you might be interested in the Boston Red Sox. They took 2020 as a write-off, sunk to the 4th worst record in the majors, waited out Alex Cora's suspension, and now they have signed utility man Enrique Kiké Hernandez, 2 years, $14 million, also $7 million a year. Kiké is fresh off a World Series championship with the Dodgers, and now he gets a raise on top of it in his first trip to free agency, $7 million a year, after never earning more than $4 million a year with LA. The 29-year-old Puerto Rican Hernandez has put in 7 seasons in the bigs, mostly as a rotational player for the Dodgers. His versatility and the loaded nature of his team's roster were the factors. Dodgers won't have a problem with him leaving. As for Hernandez, he's an average or below hitter, career .240 batter, .738 on base plus slugging. Defensively, Kiké has logged 500-plus innings at shortstop, second base, left field, and center field, with most time coming at second and center. He has positive defensive runs saved at all those positions, mostly at second base with 18. That's about 2.5 runs saved per season. Nice. Great news for the Red Sox, who, despite an obvious need for pitching, both starting and relief, keep circling around to second base, where their longtime starter Dustin Pedroia is at the end of his career with knee issues. So not only can Hernandez play the position and play it well, he can also sort of hit. And Red Sox second basemen were 25th in the majors in 2020 in terms of F-WAR. They needed somebody, so hola Kiké, and good luck with what looks like his first career starting role. But I want to go back to pitching, because Red Sox fans have been griping about the lack of additions behind recently injured starters Chris Sale, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Nathan Eovaldi. Yeah, they brought back their number 4 guy in Martin Perez, but that's not enough to keep pace with the Yankees, the Rays, and now the Blue Jays in this AL East. Boston's chief baseball officer, Chaim Bloom, has been occupied with trying to re-sign outfielder Jackie Bradley Jr., a good player, no doubt. But considering that Bloom also gave Hunter Renfroe a contract this winter, I don't understand the logic of going through the hoops of trading Andrew Benintendi, a perfectly fine starting outfielder, just to bring back JBJ when there are clearly holes all over the pitching staff. Although I will say, there is word that the Red Sox are in the mix for Jake Odorizzi and Garrett Richards. So Bloom better hope that they land somebody, because that Red Sox fan base and that Boston baseball market is unforgiving. You cannot slip up. Just ask Dave Dombrowski. Hey, speaking of pitchers, the Miami Marlins have signed one. He's a right-hander by the name of Anthony Bass. 2 years plus an option with $5 million guaranteed. Boss is a 33-year-old reliever from Dearborn, Michigan, with 9 seasons under his belt, 6 different teams. Welcome to your 7th club. His career took a while to find its way, including 2 years in Japan, but Bass has been decent over the past 3 years. In that time, an ERA and FIP between 3.41 and 3.63 and 63-plus innings, a whip of 1.074. He doesn't allow a lot of base runners. He's a ground ball pitcher. Yeah, Bass is a solid middle relief option for the Marlins, and that's something that's seriously needed with closer Brandon Kinsler, a free agent, and only 4 pitchers, including Bass, in their bullpen right now who have 150 or more major league innings pitched. A lot of youngins down in Miami. New Marlins GM Kim Ng will probably need to make more moves in that direction. This wasn't even her first, with reliever Ross Detweiler also joining the team. And if you thought that was insignificant, the Cubs. Oh, yeah, time for a little Cubs cast. All right, so we traded Victor Caratini, so here's Austin Romine. Yeah, welcome to Chicago. 1 year, $1.5 million. Romine is a 9-year veteran, a 32-year-old from Lake Forest, California. Not much to say. He's a classic backup catcher, knows what he's doing, average or above behind the plate, a firm number 8 batter at the plate, won't do much there, whatever. We all like reunions, right? So let's put all that will he retire or not wobbling behind us. It's the only franchise he's ever known. Ryan Zimmerman going back to Washington on a 1-year contract worth $1 million. If Zimmerman wants to play, the Nationals are obliged to give him a job by the unwritten rules, the oral laws, the mysterious edicts of baseball. Just how it goes, right? The 15-year veteran is 36 years old now. He opted out of the 2020 season and hit poorly in 2019. But he was a decent bench bat before that, so a little piece of depth for the Nationals. Maybe he can teach their new starting first baseman, Josh Bell, a thing or two about playing the port of entry. That guy is not a good glove. At least they'll form a platoon. Zim Zam is a lot better versus lefties than Big Josh Bell, and if the universal designated hitter returns, everybody wins. And on the subject of reunions, Wade Davis, right-handed relief pitcher, is going back to the Kansas City Royals on a minor league deal. Oh man, what happened? Well, Davis followed up a faded one-year stint with the Cubs in 2017 with a 3-year, $17.3 million contract with the Colorado Rockies, which, believe it or not, at that time, pre-2018, was the largest contract ever tendered to a relief pitcher. It was very soon broken by Aroldis Chapman and has since been obliterated by your Liam Hendricks. But yeah, that's what it was like 3 years ago. Anyway, Davis put in one good season with the Rockies and then proceeded to drop the ball over the course of 2019 and 20. An ERA of 9.77. Jesus Christ. 47 innings, he walked 32 batters and gave up 10 home runs. Disgraceful. And now Wade Davis returns home to Kansas City. He's not actually from there, but it's where he had a best of the best run among relievers from 2013 to 16, including a World Series championship. Maybe he'll reignite a little something. And if you weren't feeling nostalgic already, remember that the Royals also have Greg Holland, who signed a minors deal pre-2020, turned it out, and came back on a fresh contract. Maybe Davis will do the same. All the Royals got to do now is sign free agent Kelvin Herrera, and the most feared 7th, 8th, 9th inning combination of the mid-2010s will be back. You know what else is back? Rumor Roundup. Let's do it. Bauer Watch. Ken Rosenthal reported yesterday that the New York Mets' interest in Bowie has, quote, become more focused since the Toronto Blue Jays signed George Springer. Remember that the Mets were one of the finalists for Springer, too. Rosenthal also cited the Dodgers and the Blue Jays as teams he believes are in the running, notably leaving out the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, who, granted, have also been connected to Jake Odorizzi as of late. And speaking of Odorizzi, so have the Giants, Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Twins, giving Odorizzi a buffet of choices for where to pitch in 2021. The Minnesota Twins were apparently considering Bauer at some point, but Rosenthal said that interest has waned, no doubt because the best blogger in baseball is asking for $30 million a year, and the Twins don't spend. Might make the most sense for both parties to lead to an Odorizzi Twin Cities reunion. A lot of reunions in this episode. Speaking of Bauer, just to finish off this program, I recently found about Consummate Foresight, which was Bauer's experimental rap project. I'll post a link in the description. It's objectively bad. Artistically, I mean, he's doing something very raw, dungeon synth type beat. As an artist myself, I have to respect what he went out and tried to do. But I also hope somebody roasts this guy alive with this garbage. I mean, listen, Bauer. If you want to play stupid social media games, you will win stupid internet prizes. I might be banned on Twitter for saying people need to die, but I call on my legion of stove minders to copy and paste this link at him, at other baseball Twitter accounts who can blow this up, lick them and stick them, repost and share, subscribe, like, or dislike. Leave a mean comment below. Tell me I'm wrong. Goodbye.